Yo, what's going on guys, May here, and welcome to another tutorial. I'm going to be showing you guys how to beat the boss. I'm going to simplify it as short as possible. I do recommend to have the credit card type of bubblegum, get that money up as fast as possible, perkaholic, whatever. It's not needed, but if you want to finish this boss fight early rounds, you definitely can. This is a very easy Easter egg. Boss fight's kind of hard on solo. I failed it sadly. But I'm still here to make a tutorial for you guys because I got to the very last phase of the boss and my controller died and I died. But let's get right into the first step. So the very first step is actually to get Pack-a-Punch open. So basically you want to open up the map. It's going to tell you exactly where to go, so don't worry about that. And also this is going to be the type of item you're looking for. There's going to be 2 of these at the different type of stars that it's going to be showing you. Once you get this, boom, you get Pack-a-Punch, just like this. Now, right here, if you guys could see, it's going to be like a little tiny lockdown, and all you have to do is really protect it, and then bam, simple as that, you get Pack-a-Punch. That's the first step. Now let's get to the next. Alright, for the next step, basically you need a Pack-a-Punch gun, come back to spawn and shoot Tessie. Now, for me, the actual boss spawned in for me for some reason, and this is actually really good for us. So basically all you want to do is actually shoot his little tiny UFOs, and he actually drops another part that we do need. Now, when he actually spawns into the map, there will be a sound effect that actually does play, and don't worry if he doesn't spawn in soon, it will take some time. And also when he does spawn in, sometimes he doesn't spawn directly on you but somewhere on the map, so make sure you guys look on the map to actually find him as well. Now you're going to come back to the Pack-a-Punch room and you're going to hit the piano like so, and it's going to make this sound. Now, once it actually makes that sound, all you have to do is find the little tiny spinning wheels. There's about 6 or I think 7 of them, or maybe 8, spinning around, and you have to just find them and shoot them. Now, they could also be located from the top and bottom, so make sure you guys are looking up and looking down, and also in the middle floor of where you're actually just running around like how I am. Now, once you actually do it correctly, it's going to make this little sound like this.
Make room so I can work.
And that's how you know you did it correctly, and you can move on to the next step. Now for the next step, we're going to hit on the piano, the little VR headset that's right there, and we're going to go on Mars, and we're going to get those little numbers right there at the bottom. You guys see that? Now make sure to write this down. It will be different in your game compared to mine. Everything's different. Now we're going to actually be using the VR headset, and we're going to be moving the little icon all the way down to the sun. And once we have it activated near the sun, this beam is going to start going off, and this is actually where you want to bring the boss. And you basically just need to guide him into the laser for him to die. And once he dies, that's how you know you did it correctly. You move on to the next step. Now, if he doesn't die, just do it again, put it back on the sun, and just redo it. You don't even have to kill him, nothing like that. He will die on his own. That's how you do it correctly. Let's move on to the next step. Now for the next step, you just need to cryo freeze one of your weapons. And now we're going to be running around the map looking for the purple crystals. And we're going to shoot them with our cryo freeze gun like so. And boom, we got 1 crystal. And we need to get 2 more. So you need 3 in total. And bing, bang, boom. We're done. Now we can move on to the next step. Now for the next step, we're actually going to be looking for these type of light poles right over here. And the difference between these light poles and other ones, they're flickering. And the best advice I give you to find these on your map and on your run is basically just run around and look for a flickering light that is those type of poles though. Once you find those type of poles, just shoot it with your Pack-a-Punch gun and get the wires. And now we can move on to the next step. Now this is going to be a really fast step. We're going to the museum and we find this case right over here, and all we have to do is break the glass and get the beheader. That's what I like to call it. But yeah, grab that, and it's literally a bone saw. And now we can move on to the next step. Now for the next step, you actually have to find another elite. Once you find him, the 3 crystals that we actually grabbed is actually going to be really important. We have to activate this rocket right here. Once we activate the rocket, simply we get him right behind it as soon as it says 3, 2, 1. And it blows, then he dies from it. Once he dies from it, that's how you know you did it correctly, just like how it was with the sun. Now let's move on to the next step. Now you actually want to bring another elite to this room over here, into the disco room. You're going to add all the parts that we already have gotten, and you basically just want to constantly shoot him while you're in this lockdown area. If you do not constantly shoot him, it will fail. It happened to me and I had to wait multiple rounds to get another guy to spawn in. It's really annoying, so make sure to do that. Now, once his bar is fully complete, how you know you did it correctly is that he's actually gonna die and he drops the wonder weapon like so. Now we can move on to the next step with this beautiful beast wonder weapon. Now for this next step, you actually want to be sneaky like the Pink Panther, and you want to find another elite and follow him. Just follow him. Do not aggro him. Do not do anything. You want him to keep searching. Once he keeps searching, he's going to say this little line right here.
Remember, Uranus, Mars, Earth.
Now, once you actually do get your planets, it will be different from mine. You're going to be basically putting in a code from the planets that are furthest away from the sun and the closest to the sun. And I'll just give you guys the numbers here on screen like that. And just remember exactly the order that he gave you the planets. There's going to be 3. That's what he gave me. And basically, I just grabbed those numbers and just put it into this console, which is the next step that we're going to get into right now. Now we make our way back to the Pack-a-Punch room and this little console, and we put in the numbers that we have gotten from the planets. Like so. Now, when you did it correctly, this little thing is actually going to lower down. You jump on the table, jump up, and you press square on him or whatever button is for you, and you get a key. Now, let's move on to the next step. Now, from the solar room, there's going to be a little side room over here. We're going to find Goku sleeping. We're going to hit square on him or whatever button is for you. And remember the bone cell that we actually got. We're going to simply press square, and elite is going to spawn in, so keep that in mind. Now, we grab the brain, and we can move on to the next step after you kill your elite, of course. Now, we simply go to this jug area, and we're going to find the brain over here, and we hit square on it. Once we hit square one more time, and you're going into a lockdown. Now, if you have teammates, make sure one of them trains a zombie, and all the event zombies that start spawning in that you have to protect the brain from, basically spawn in from this simple window right here for some reason. And it was one of the easiest lockdowns I've ever done in my life. Even as solo, they just kept spawning from there. Now, once you are done with the brain, this is going to be a little bit of an annoying task, because if you're solo, for some reason when you pick it up, you walk really, really slow. You're going to be making your way back to the solar room where all the planets are, the main room basically, where we just cut off that guy's head, and we're going to build it into this little thing right over here. Once we build it in, we can move on to the next step. Now for the next step is actually going to be exactly where we just built the brain. Basically, it's going to start telling us on that little tiny screen of which books we actually need. So make sure to write down every single book name you see. For me, it was only 3, but for you, it could be 4, 5, 2, doesn't matter. So write as many books as you see that pop up on that screen. Now, don't feel rushed like you're gonna be like, oh my god, oh my god. It does cycle back. So if you need a double check of your books, make sure you double check so you have everything you need before you move on to the next step. Let's get right into that. Now, before we actually get to the book step, we're going to actually go up these stairs, and we're going to go right over here. And remember the Mars code that I told you guys to write down? You're going to simply put that in here. Now, if you do get a single digit for your other number or any other number, make sure to put 0 and then the digit, because it is a 4-digit code. Alright, let's move on to the books. Now, you see guys how I'm reading all these books? Simply, that's all you have to do is read all the books of where these different statue heads are and the sections they are at. Now, if they match up with the names that you actually got, that means it's technically a number. So let's say, for example, you have one book there, you click on the statue head like so, 1 time. Now, if you have 2 books in a section, let's say over there, and there's multiple books that you actually have, let's say 2 or 3, you click on the statue head 2 or 3 times. Then you move on to the next statue and you click it as many times as you need to if the books match up. That's all you have to do. Now for the next step, all you have to do is climb up this ladder like this and just grab the globe, and now we can move on to the next step. Now we simply go back to the globe room, and you see that little tiny thing where there's no globe on it. We simply just run up to it and we press square or whatever button is for you, and bam, you did it correctly. Now we could do the next step. So now we're gonna run in the globe room into this little back corner, and we're gonna find this little piece of paper, and we're gonna write this down. It's gonna be Northwest Red, aka just Mars, or you could just say red like how I did to abbreviate. Now for you, it might be different. It's gonna be probably a different planet, or it's going to be a different thing. Might say north, east, southwest, doesn't matter. But now we're going to go find some other papers. We have 2 more to find. Now we're going to go into the library, and same thing, it's going to be blue, northeast, but for you it's going to be different, so make sure you write down for whatever it is for you. Now let's go get the final and last page, which is right over here, and it's going to be in the disco room in the corner, and bam! Once you have all your codes and everything like that, now we can move on to the next step. Now all we have to do is go to the globe room, and we're gonna actually have to line up all the planets with the codes that we got. So like northeast, southwest, whatever, you have to line up those planets with those coordinates, and you actually could see it, a compass on the ring right over there. And I didn't have to be exactly precise, they just had to be like pretty close on where it was lining up, and that's simply what I did. And you have to just do that for the 3 planets. Now if you're shooting a planet and it's not moving, it's probably the wrong planet, so just shoot another one and it will move. So that's how you know you're doing it right. Now once you are done, we will move to the next step. Now if you believe you did it correctly, you just have to run up to the brain and press square to start this little lockdown, and it's gonna spawn in a boss, so be ready. Now it's just a simple little tiny robot man, and basically all you have to do to defend it, because it is another defending lockdown, you have to keep shooting his UFOs. There's going to be certain UFOs that are actually going to go near the middle, and it's actually going to make like a little beeping sound. Once it makes that sound, you just have to focus and actually make sure to not let those little UFOs hit the center part. And yeah, that's it. Once you are done with the lockdown, you're actually going to be teleported to Mars. And now we could get right into the next step. Now, as soon as you touch Mars, you're gonna see this little butt plug hit the ground. You simply wanna run up to it, hit square, run back up the stairs, build it, and run straight to the right side window in the back of the map. Once you do that, you're gonna shoot these little pillars that you're gonna see in the ground, like how I am right now. You're gonna shoot back right, back left, top right, top left. Now, once you do that, you basically want to turn around as soon as you're done shooting those 4 and shoot the big one, the main one right over here, like how I am. Now, an important fact, you need to keep shooting the little tiny orb thing on top to keep that bird eye thing attracted so it doesn't fly away. So shoot it once in a while. You don't have to keep spamming it, but just shoot it, and basically you're waiting for the no gravity zone to appear. Now, once it appears and you can actually jump pretty high, all you have to do is catch the little thing, because it will be pretty close. So from the middle, you could jump to the left or right, or you could go up the stairs and jump for it. And yeah, I just kind of jumped at it, and I just kept spamming square too at the same time. I don't know if you have to press square, but I did it anyway. Now we just take this little cube bastard to this pillar, we hit square, and boom, that is another step done. Now let's get to one of the final steps of the Easter egg, actually. So congratulations, clap your hands, clap them cheeks. Let's get to the next step. You'll also be making your way back to Earth, basically, and you'll be going back to the Pack-a-Punch room. So funny enough, I actually messed up in this step. You are supposed to get 5 different codes. For me, it actually started off as blank, right there, that one. And now it moved to I for me. That's how I kind of like see them, that's how I describe them. But for your game, it's all going to be different. Somehow for me, the first one was blank, and I thought that's actually how it was starting, but that's actually a code. Then the next one was the cross. Then the next one for me was actually this time symbol, and then the last one was the Assassin's Creed symbol for me. Now once you actually get your code, it will start over and it will refresh. So just get your code down, write it down, and make sure you have all 5 in that order that I showed you. That is really, really important. Now, once you are done, you simply go back to Mars and find these pillars and just shoot them. Just shoot all of them with the Wonder Weapon on top. I thought it actually had to be in the certain order you got the symbols, but it's not. Basically, you just shoot all the pillars. Once you shoot all the pillars, now this is the order where it actually matters, and you actually have to put it in properly. Let's get right into that. So these are all the different symbols that actually go onto the statues that you actually have to hit in order. So the cross goes with that little circle one, the blank one goes with the time looking one, Assassin's Creed goes with Assassin's Creed, that I one, goes with that one. The triangle one goes with the triangle one. Now, you saw how I had that little time thing that I saw on the little pad, but it wasn't on any of the statues. That's really important. Make sure to just avoid that. Only follow the symbols that you see right now that I'm showing you on screen and just fill in. So go in order of what you saw, but let's say in order you're following it, it's a symbol that's not on there. Just skip it and go to the next one. If you do mess up, everything will go red for a second, and then you could go again and do it again. You have 3 tries until it goes completely red, and then you have to end the round and do it again. Now, once you actually hit all of them right, they're gonna start glowing blue like this, and basically you are ready for boss fight. There's gonna be like a little flash knowing that you actually did everything right. Everything will be glowing blue as well, and all you have to do is go up to that brain of where you built it, and you just have to press square, and boom, you jump right into boss fight. Now, prepare properly. I honestly recommend to have just the main wonder weapon that you got, because honestly, it's slow, but it shreds him. You don't have to worry about ammo, you don't have to worry about anything like that, and it's just reliable. This is the time to switch out your bubblegums to get everything that you need properly. Now, let's get into how to defeat him. Now, he's gonna be this floating big head, and there's gonna be a beam chasing you. Now, if you are playing with people, make sure you guys are running the same direction, because you guys don't want to run on the opposite and then meet up and then get hit by the lasers. It's really bad. So basically, for the first step, you're just killing zombies, and you want to charge up that tower. When it is fully glowing, all you have to do is go up to the brain, and that's when you have to start repairing it for some reason, and it launches a beam at him. So it does take time, so make sure people are protecting you. Maybe throw a decoy, monkey, whatever you got to do for that so you don't die, and be careful for the beam because it does keep eating your ass. Now, for the next step is just the opposite side. That's all you have to do, is the opposite side. Start charging up the souls for that, and then you have to shoot it again. You do both of them at the same time. Charge it up and shoot it again. Once you shoot it again, guess what? You are done with the first phase. You think you killed the boss, but you didn't. Next is the second phase. This little monster is pretty strong. I recommend Semtex because it does break armor fast. But basically, he has a lot of armor. He throws rocks. He's annoying. You want to keep your distance with this boss. Keep your distance, shoot your blades, run away, keep shooting him, keep running away, because he just throws little tiny rocks at you that stuns you and slams on the ground that also stuns you. Keep this in mind, there is armor plates here that you could buy and also ammo crate, so I do recommend that. And once you are done with that phase, guess what? You do it again. And once you do the phase again, his other phase comes out. Now, his other phase is way harder. Basically, there's going to be poison on the ground, and you're going to be stuck up here. And he's going to keep throwing rocks at you, and it's pretty deadly, so be careful for that. There's also these meteor things that start launching down during the other phases as well. Just stay out of the way. It's not even that big of a deal. That's why I'd even bring it up, because it's really easy to avoid, and honestly, I'd even notice it for most of the time. And for the final phase, guys, it's gonna be really, really hard. He's gonna have these giant rocks now, like they're huge, and he starts with small rocks, goes to medium-sized rocks, goes to crazy rocks. These crazy rocks are basically electrified. When he throws them at you, there's an electric little ball on the ground, kind of like the Klauses. If you go into it, you will die fast. So make sure to try to jump over them, avoid them, or maybe try to bait it out to shoot it in a corner so you're not going to be running into it, or try to cut off your waypoints of where you're actually trying to train. And then just keep shooting him, and once you keep shooting him, that's it. You are done with boss fight. You win, and you won the entire thing. Now, it is easier said than done, but this boss fight is pretty slow, but he is pretty easy. I messed up because my controller died, and when I came back, I went down, and my wonder weapon was actually my third gun. So it dropped on the ground somewhere. I looked around of where I went down, and it despawned. It was just gone. And that's basically how I lost. I had my other guns with me, but they weren't doing enough because I had so many zombies chasing on me. I had the boss chasing, and I can't keep turning around trying to shoot that because he just kept slamming down on the ground or throwing rocks at me, cutting off my waypoints. And I got cooked. So that's why I do recommend the wonder weapon, especially if you are solo. Anyway guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on post notifications if you guys haven't already. And let me know down in the comments down below if I actually helped you complete the Easter egg. And let me know your tips and tricks so other people could actually learn and maybe even improve to get shorter rounds. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.